Hey, Heidi here, and we are back with Nettie to talk about all things paint parties and different things when you are first getting started. So, I know a lot of times we are nervous about starting this, and I want to talk with someone who is starting this now so you can get a feel of what's going on inside her head and how she's overcoming some of the things that we hear when we start something new. So, welcome, Nettie. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, I'm so happy you're here. So tell us your business name and where you live.
So my business name is Crafting with Nettie, and I live in Baltimore, Maryland.
Awesome. Okay, so I want to first just kind of first off say thank you for being here. I know when people start something new, it can be really, really scary. Um, and I know anytime we start something new, and I think social media gives us the idea that we're supposed to be perfect at it right away, and that's so not true.
Oh, no.
It's so not true. It takes time, right?
It really does. It's definitely a process,
Yeah.
um, which is why I'm glad that you have the step by step, this the starter and the tacky and the making money artist, and you go forward through the whole program and the whole process. And whenever you're ready, just go.
Yes. Yes. Let's talk. I know you've done a party with 10 kids, which by the way, sometimes people and let us know in the comments which ones you like. Do you love teaching the kids more? Do you love teaching adults more? I actually love both. I've taught both for over 16 years now and love teaching both ages. But what would you say was like the most fun of teaching that party of 10 kids?
Their level of creativity was amazing. They
Really?
asked me for a particular design. So I had to come up with a dragon and a phoenix
Are
for
those
this
the same
party.
thing? Are those the same things? No.
No. um, but they sent the mom sent me pictures. I put them on 12-inch wooden rounds. She gave me a list of who wanted which ones and went for it. I traced everything out in pencil. When I showed up, one girl completely redesigned her dragon.
Awesome.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Aw.
And at the end, they were so appreciative because all they really needed was to learn how to mix colors, how to
Mhm.
get the colors that they wanted from the 5 colors that I had. And they were like, no, we don't need no help. Oh, okay. Well, I'm here if you need me.
I know, like I was paid for this, but I'll just chill. It's okay.
It's okay. Um, but at the end, they were so proud of what they created. And that brought up an appreciation in me for them. They made my job easy
Yeah.
and it was fabulous. And I got so many hugs and thank yous. And
Aw.
can we do this again? Mom, I want to do this again. Like, yes, please, Mom, can we do this again?
Yeah.
But it was great. It was absolutely great.
Isn't it so fun when you're in the midst of a party? And I know, like, especially with a kids event, it's just so
Mhm.
fun because they're so like I know a lot of times with like adult events, they're more, they're so scared. Like we've already been like conditioned of who's gonna judge me, who's gonna this, who's gonna that.
Right.
Where the kids, they don't care. Like
There's no fear.
paint with their fingers. They've added an extra tree. Like they don't care. They just
No.
are truly artsy, like adding that expression. And I don't know about you, but like that's one of my favorite things. It feels like no matter what's going on in the world, everything can subside because I'm focused on them.
Yeah, yeah. I loved it.
It's so fun. Okay,
I'm
so
nervous because I don't have any kids. I don't have any children.
mhm.
And I used to have such anxiety of being around children, like really bad.
Really?
really bad. Um, it made me really nervous to be around people's kids,
Hmm.
um, even when I was a kid. So this helped me grow even in that area. It was just great.
Just seeing
So
their joy, just kind
yeah,
of seeing that it's just joyful. And I think that's one of the greatest things that paint parties do for not just the painters, but more for us, the teachers, is it just brings so much joy. And
yeah,
I know it's great to have profit, but it's also even greater to have that just feeling of like, we're doing something fun. We're doing something
yes,
cool, you know? I
yeah.
love that. And let's talk a little bit about mindset and a tip you would give somebody. So I know with you just starting out and you're new to this, you're new to getting, paint parties going. And so sometimes it can feel so daunting. And I know from experience myself, sometimes it can feel overwhelming. Like, is this going to happen? Why is this happening for other people and it's not happening for me? Well, they can do it, but I can't. Like, we have all of these like negative things in our head. What is a tip that you would say that maybe you use daily that helps you with your mindset on knowing, you know what, this is what I want to do and I'm going to do it? Like, what is something you would tell somebody who's thinking that?
Okay, so I'm speaking to the ones that are multi-talented, right? We do paint, we do paper crafts, we do wood crafts, we sew, we have all these different facets, right? But when you look at a diamond is also multifaceted, but it also shines the brightest. So in this particular business, you can pull from whichever area you want to, even mixed media. So why not? Um, I've been in several different businesses where somebody told me, well, if you do this first, build this first, then you can do that. No, I don't want to do that. I want to pull it all together and use everything all together and build something that way. That's why I joined. As far as mindset, because of the challenges that I have in my life, especially with my health, you have to have a positive mindset or you won't make it. And it's more than just being positive. It's fighting every day for your peace. It's using crafts, using paints, using creativity, period, to heal, to shine, to settle, just to settle your soul, because sometimes you just need that. Um, but about it's just going forward, right? Like it took me a year. I signed up over a year ago and I went through the process and I'm seeing how everybody else is succeeding. And I'm like, okay, they're succeeding, be happy for them, but you're not there yet. Um, and because I wasn't there yet, I learned to pace myself, and that is okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. It's not, it's not bad to be patient. It's not bad to love on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And we need that. Um, paint along, paint it several thousand times if you have to, until you feel confident. But the fact that I got through it, you get through it. You just do. And if you ever have a downtime, this is a family. This is a family. And I didn't feel that until, well, I kind of knew it, but I really felt it at Paint Party Business Live.
I'm so happy you came.
I really felt it. It's like I was the loudest one out in the courtyard saying, "My people." And I really meant that. And I still do mean it. So
That's
get
it.
in there. Just say yes to yourself.
Mhm.
Do it. If you have second thoughts, we all have them.
Right.
Just do it.
Yeah,
Say,
I wrote down a couple of things you said, Nettie. Oh my gosh, which I'm gonna have to so sometimes people say, I don't know if you have this, but sometimes people say stuff and it like becomes like a permanent fixture on my wall. Like it becomes like a note that I write and a permanent fixture on my wall.
it's a
And
Nettyism.
it's a Nettyism. Well, I'm about to have a Nettyism permanently fixated on my wall because you said something so powerful. And you said fighting every day for your peace.
Mhm.
And set something to settle your soul, like fighting every day for your peace. And I know just from knowing you from other, things we've been a part of, knowing a little bit about your health stuff and things like that. But even I think everybody has, struggles in their life, right? Whether it's our health struggle at this time or it's everybody has something. And I think that what you said is so powerful. I'm actually writing it down with Sharpie because I cannot lose it. But fighting every day for your peace. Man, if you're watching this video and that relates to you in any way, just put thanks Nettie in the comments. Because I think right now we're again with social media just being blasted at us. And of course it's the highlight reels. I was on a walk with my daughter yesterday and we were talking about social media and she was talking about even the Be Real app, where people now can like take photos, like be real, and you're supposed to take a photo and it's supposed to be exactly what's happening. And she talked about how like, it's boring. Nobody wants to see that. Like we want to see the highlights, right? Like nobody wants to scroll through social media with the boring stuff, right? We don't want to see people just sitting there watching TV. We want to see the highlights. But what happens is that I think sometimes that eats away at our peace if we subconsciously think that that's really everyone's life every moment when it's not. We all have moments where it's really, really fun, like Paint Party Business Live, and we get to dress crazy and be silly. And then we also have moments where we're, having a health struggle or we're, trying to paint something for the 1,000th time because, we've messed it up. I mean, I did that.
We're overwhelmed by clutter or whatever.
Yes, overwhelmed by clutter. I actually had to take everything out of my office and put it in the hallway yesterday just to get ready for these interviews because I was like surrounding myself like I was like an episode of Hoarders. Like I just couldn't even breathe, I had paintings everywhere and papers everywhere. And I just want to thank you so much for this because it is now going to be a permanent fixture on my wall because it's so powerful for me. Like fighting every day for your peace. As you build a business, oh my gosh, this is one of the things I fight for every day and I obviously I try to journal and I'm putting it on my wall so I don't lose it right now. But I try to journal and do prayer journals and pray because I want that peace while I'm building this business. And what you said is just so, so powerful. So thank you so much for that. I love that so much. Let's talk a little bit about the value of our time and not like undervaluing it. So I know you have a story, so you have learned a lesson. We all learn lessons as we go through this. Do you want to share a little bit about that?
So speaking of highlight reels, a friend of mine wanted me to do a party for them. And I said, sure, no problem. It was virtual and I was not set up for it. I just wasn't. I didn't have the right OBS system. I didn't know what to do. The connection was bad. And then I just had to sit back and say, okay, one person was able to get to me on their cell phone in a room full of 20 people. It's interesting.
I bet.
But there was so much drama before that happened. So it's like, okay, I didn't charge enough for this.
Mhm.
And that was the lesson. Do not undersell your work,
Right.
because when you do, you talk about that thing and you don't let that thing go. And it really starts to, let's just say, sometimes bitterness will try to creep in.
Mhm.
And really, it's your fault.
Yeah. I mean, I love that it's like we have to take responsibility for it.
Yeah.
That way we can get through it.
Yeah.
And we can't, yeah, it's so true, because I remember the last time I did something for free. I remember it like it was yesterday, because I mean, we're artists. So let us know in the comments if you've ever done anything for free. That's us, right? So we are like the people who do stuff for free because we're artists and it's supposed to be fun. So why wouldn't we do it for free? And I remember the last time I did something for free, I had a friend ask for me to make her something, and I was teaching full time, doing paint parties full time. Pixie was little, and I stayed up until midnight. I sacrificed time with my family, stayed up till midnight to finish it. Got up at 5:30 a.m. the next morning to get ready to go do school stuff or as a teacher. And I presented what she had asked for, and she's like, "Oh, I forgot I asked for that." And I was like, "What?" And so now here is my new go-to. If anyone, family and friends, and it stops it every time, if anyone asks for something free, I say, "I'm really busy right now, but if you'll give me a couple of weeks, I'll get you a quote." And that's all I say. That's all I say. And then I never, you need to write that one down, right? I literally say, "Oh, if you'll give me a couple of weeks, I'll get you a quote." And then I literally start talking about something else. And then I never give them a quote because they never want to come back for it. If they come back in a couple weeks and they're like, "Hey, where's that quote at?" Then I know it's serious. But I promise you, like 99 times out of 100, those friends and family have never sent, "Hey, what's my quote?" because they wanted it for free.
Right.
So that has been, once that happened and I got burned like that, I was like, okay, they're eating into my time and I'm allowing it. And so I had to go, okay, this is my fault. I'm allowing it. How can I change this? And then it was like, okay, from here on, line in the sand, no more. It's not free. So I'm sure you have that feeling now.
Absolutely. I even went one step further.
Tell me.
I told one of my paint party sisters is now a mentor, and I told her what my plans were, and she said, "Okay, that sounds good." So started. Um, I have a base rate per person per party, period.
Good.
And if somebody wants something for free, like the African the woman with the galaxy that she
Yes.
did.
Yes.
I got so many people wanting that as housewarming presents, birthday presents. And I'm like, okay, set up a party, host a party for me, charge $40 per person.
Mm-hmm.
When you get to 10, I'll show up.
Mm-hmm.
We will do that.
Good.
But what about mine for free? Get 10 people, get 10 people to be in your house or wherever you're going to be, collect the money, give me the money, and I'll show up. And yours, you can paint for free because that'll be your gift as a hostess. How about that?
Yes.
I never heard it again.
And you have to do that. You have to do that because it's something to do with the mindset of an artist and people's vision of an artist. Not everybody, it's almost like once you have put that boundary in place, now they know you're taking your business seriously.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Boundaries are important.
Yes. So you got to have those boundaries. And this is for everybody listening. You know, if you have been in that spot, like me and Nettie, where we have given away stuff for free and painted into the wee hours of the night because we're artists and we love it. And so we should do it for free and not, I mean, you got to remember, like, everybody has a job, and you know, our job just happens to be something really cool that we love to do. But that doesn't mean we devalue it. And that doesn't mean that all of a sudden we're supposed to do it for free just because we enjoy it. There's no way I would ever go to a dentist, a chiropractor, a yoga instructor,
Walmart.
Walmart. I mean, anywhere, and just expect that, like, you know, hand me that for free because, like, and there's some kind of, I don't know what it is about that, but really, once we put the boundary, once we draw that line in the sand, people start respecting you for that. And I noticed a huge change, and I noticed a bigger change in my business too, is once I was like, no, it's not allowed, and things change. So I am so proud of you for putting a line in the sand. That's big. That's really big. Okay, so I just want to ask two more questions. Okay, so what is one of the things that, you know, we talked about this the other day, and in Paint Party headquarters, and I just want to ask you to kind of share with the world, what is something that you have done recently that you're just proud of yourself for?
I started talking to business owners about team building events.
Good.
And have no idea to get that started. But I've been doing a vendor event at my gym for the last 3 months, and got a lot of, well, not a whole lot of contact, but enough.
Are you
And
getting emails?
I got some emails, but a lot of them are not. And I think that's where this particular party that was supposed to be happening soon, where it fell short, because I do not have an email list.
Oh yeah, definitely build emails. Anybody listening, build emails.
I'm building. It's coming.
Good.
I got 4 whole people on my list.
Hey, it's a start.
Yeah.
It's a start.
But those 4 people could not come to the party. But it's okay. Because there's always going to be another one.
Mm-hmm.
There's always going to be another one. Because this doesn't stop.
Yeah.
But that's one of the biggest things that I've done. I want to say since Paint Party Business Live and following the magic script.
Nice.
It works. It works. It's kind of like the word. It works if you work it.
Mm-hmm.
The magic script will work if you work it.
Yes.
Period.
And following up. We were talking about that earlier. Following up.
Have to follow up.
Mm-hmm.
You have to follow up. Just like with a job interview, you have to follow up.
Yeah. I love that. So just a little tip for everybody out there. A team building event is basically the same as a normal paint party. It's literally the same thing. It's just they're all there together and they call it a team building event. And I am so glad you're reaching out for team building events. It's awesome. And I also want to ask, okay, so what are you most excited about? Like, I know you're in the beginning stages of getting your paint parties going. And, you know, I think back over 16 years ago when I was first starting this, like the excitement I had, the hopefulness I had, all of these things. And I had no idea where God was going to lead me in this paint party adventure. And from you being at the beginning of this, like, what is your hope? Like, what's your goals with this?
So I have 2.
Okay.
My short-term goal is when my business nets ten to $15,000 more than what I make on my job, I'm going shopping. There's a store in Fort Worth
Uh-huh.
that I found, and it lights me up.
Which store?
It's I think it's Eduardo's or Edwards or something like that, but
Is it like a cowboy boot store or a
it's it's definitely a Texan home decor store. And I know that when my business gets to that financial point, I'm going to drive from Maryland to Fort Worth so that I don't have to worry about packing anything on a plane.
Wow, you love the store. This is awesome.
And I'm going to go shopping. I'm going to spend a cap of $2,000
Uh-huh.
and walk out with what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Period. That's my initial goal. That's the small goal.
Okay, I like it. Okay, what's your second
Okay.
goal?
Long term, convert my full-time job into my part-time job and make my part-time business my full-time everything.
Yeah.
That's the goal, long term.
Mm-hmm.
And I say part-time on my job because one, I love my job.
That's good.
I like what I do, and I love the agency that I work for. Um, and I'm not going nowhere. I made that point clear when they hired me.
Mhm.
So I have some time that I need to invest here. So it's gonna have to shift.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I want the business, I want crafting with Nettie to become a big part of my brand because I also have other businesses underneath a whole umbrella called Nettie Boo Enterprises. So it's a lot.
Yes. Well, and it's one step at a time.
Yeah.
It's building I mean, just building parts of it as
Hmm.
you go. And I was talking to several different people I've talked to, and some are working full time and doing the paint party business on the side. And what I want to say to that is that's how I did it. That's how I taught, and I was so scared from the bankruptcy. I was so scared to let my full-time job go until I knew my paint parties were going to take over my salary. And
Yeah.
and I think what's so important about that is it gives you time to give yourself grace. When
Hmm.
people just quit a job and go, I'm going to go into business for myself, like now you have all the risk. You have all the and there's nothing worse for an entrepreneur to have it all on their shoulders, and I know like sometimes people think, well, I have to work full time, so it's harder. Well, it's actually, it takes off the pressure.
Yeah.
If you have your job and then you're able to build your business how you want, maybe you build it slower, maybe you go, full steam ahead, whatever, and you figure it out. And I've talked to many people, just like you, that are working full time and they're doing this on the side at their own pace. And there is nothing wrong with that. It is very, very doable. It's very respectable, and it's a lot less risky. And I don't know. I just think it's sometimes people think that that's not the way to go, but that's the way I did it. I wanted to eliminate the risk as much as possible. So I commend you for that, because it takes a lot of gumption to get up every day and go to your full-time job and then also build a business on the side. It takes a lot. And
Well,
so
see, I figure like this, Heidi. Either I build a part-time business or I get a part-time job.
mhm.
I already have a job. I already have a job with bosses. Why would I want a part-time job with
Right.
bosses and limited income
Mhm.
and limited potential for a part-time gig? No, let my business be my part-time gig until it becomes my full-time gig.
Hmm.
The potential is only stuck with me.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I love your dreams. I love your goals. And there's nothing better than talking to somebody like when they first have the visions and all of that, and just seeing how you progress over the next year, the next 10 years, seeing what that looks like, coming back to this interview in 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, like seeing like, oh my gosh, I mean, there's so many things that have happened even just in the past 5 years in my business. I'm like, there's no way I would have, like, those are dreams, that God gave me, because there's no way I could have ever had dreams like that, or things go that way. Like, I feel like a lot of times it's just that collaboration and a lot of grace given by God to help us through it, for sure. So,
Absolutely.
I will always treasure this, fighting every day for your peace. It is now a new part of my quote wall, my vision wall, all of that. I love it so much. So thank you for that tip. And so can you tell everybody again where they can find you? And so if they want to find out more about you on social.
Okay, so my social handles on both Instagram and Facebook is crafting.w.netty. And Netty is Netty. My business is Crafting with Netty. Right now, I have a phone number, but it's easier just to DM me.
Yeah, I would say have
those
them DM you. Yeah, that'd probably be easier.
Because I do answer those. Yeah. And I'm in Baltimore, but I will travel to DC, Northern Virginia, and on the western side of Maryland. Like, I don't want to cross the Chesapeake, but I will if I have to. But there's a paint party sister over on that side of the state. So
cool.
We'll connect.
So within a couple of hours, is that what you're saying?
Yes. Within
Okay.
a couple of hours, I will travel.
So different in Texas. It's like within 12 hours, we're still in Texas. It's so different. I have a friend up in Pennsylvania, and she's like, oh yeah, New York's just right there. And I'm like, what? Like, Canada's right up there. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is wild to me. Like, she can drive so many hours and be somewhere. It's
like,
just,
I have a paint party sister in Philadelphia.
how far is that? 3? Okay.
Maybe an hour and a half. New Jersey is 3 hours, depending on which way you go. So it's kind of tight on the East Coast over here. But yeah.
Yeah. So if y'all want, if y'all are watching and maybe you're not interested in starting your own paint party business, but you want to have a paint party, contact her in that area. Contact Netty so she can help you out. And it's been so much fun talking to you. Thank you so much for taking time out. And
thank you for having me.
Oh, you're so welcome. And everyone, if you would please let us know in the comments below, what is, I would love to know what is one thing that you are proud of for yourself. So if you want to put that in the comments, and if you're a little nervous about writing that, maybe write out what your big dream is. What I know, and Nettie shared 2 of hers. What is one of your big dreams? All right, and everyone, I just want to say thank you, and hopefully you have some great paint party adventures ahead. And we'll talk soon. Bye, y'all.